Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to myself. I'm Keith Porter at Reality Football, better known as Porterhouse. And I must say, it is good to be with you, my friends, on this pre-Super Bowl reality football show. How are you?
Doing great, man. It's great to see you back.
It's good to be back. Been a rough week or so, but I'm glad to be here. And for those of you who are new at the very end of the season, which I doubt it, but just in case you are, this is Reality Football, a show that was spawned out of four high school friends 30 odd years ago, just wanting to put a camera in front of us watching football and no political agenda, no fantasy, just keeping it as it is. And this is what has happened from that. And we welcome you all to the show. Fish?
Thanks, Keith. So good to have you back here. So this is a Fish here. Where you can find us, you might be listening to us right now on WMBU.org on Global Internet Radio every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. You also might be listening to us on podcast. You can be found on most major podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Outcast. If you do follow us out there, listen to us out there, give us a subscribe and a rating and review on Apple. Helps other people find the show. Our main video pages are Facebook at Reality Football 1. We've put videos of the show up there and some other fun things. And our YouTube channel, Reality Football. You can also find Facebook and YouTube looking at for hashtag Reality Football. We are on Instagram, Reality Football _330. Twitter, look for our page, Reality Football 1, or at Reality Football 1L3. And TikTok, we are out there on at Reality Football. We put a few things out there every so often. But again, the main platforms are our podcast, Facebook, and YouTube. So we appreciate your support. And here we are, guys, at the end of the season, Super Bowl coming up. Skinner, what do you got there on the
Tic Tac?
preview of the game?
Did he say we're on Tic Tac?
No. He said get a Tic Tac.
Get a Tic Tac. That's
Your
what
breath
it
is
is.
coming through the mic.
Yeah, through the microphone.
Hey, folks, this is Skinner here. Keith, welcome back to the show, man. You were dearly missed last week. We're just going to condolences to you and the family. It's been a whirlwind of emotions for you and your family. You were out because of the knee surgery, so we're hoping that is on its way to good men's for you. But we'll leave it at that. But condolences to you and your family, and we are glad that you took some time out of this incredible time you're going through to spend it with us.
Thank you.
We would be remiss not to mention Coach John Cooper. He did say, Porter did say there are four of us, but as you can clearly see, there's just the three of us. He's still tending to family matters, and we hope to have him back post-football season here very soon. So, Coach Coop, hope all's well with you. Let's go right into it, folks.
Okay.
Fellas, Green Bay and
I feel like I've missed so much throughout the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
So you guys got to just bear with me here for a minute. First of all, thank you both for your condolences and well wishes. I am seemingly out of as much pain as I was in. Of course, dealing with a different pain now with the loss of a family member. And I did get to talk to Coach Cooper throughout this tough time a few times, and He certainly misses us. But man, I feel like I kind of slept through the playoffs there.
I think you did.
The championship round anyway. We didn't get an opportunity to talk about any of that. I gotta say, just kind of catching up a little bit, I was thoroughly surprised at Green Bay's exit. I think that was the thing that hit me the most. I always thought that Tampa Bay was the team that, once firing on all cylinders, would be really, really scary. Once they got it all together, that's the team you have to worry about. And it looks like that happened when they played the Green Bay Packers. What a wasteful year of a team that looked a part of a Super Bowl champion, but apparently not. So I think that was the thing that got me the most to see them lose like they did. I did not expect Buffalo to get past. I didn't expect anybody to get past Kansas City. Um, I thought Buffalo had enough of a high flying offense to match them point for point. So I was surprised they pulled away from a little bit, but no big shocker there.
Yeah, the Kansas City Buffalo game, I didn't expect it to be as high scoring as it was. I know Fish and I talked about it last week's show. The line was quite high, but we thought it was going to be within a touchdown or even a field goal between the two teams. But for it to be a 14-point difference between the game, it was really quite shocking. Buffalo took the worst time of year to play probably their worst game of the year, truthfully. If you watched them over the season, they didn't look the same last week. That's what I took out of that game. And then I agree with you. Watching Green Bay exit the way they did, it was kind of a tough pill to swallow. They were the championship caliber team all season long, and kudos to Tom Brady and Tampa Bay. They did what they needed to do to win. So
yeah, the weird thing about football is, and I know you guys know this, it's this momentum thing. You ride it for a while, then you have your lulls maybe. Then you got to get back going again. You really hit it on the head, Skinner. They picked a heck of a time to play their worst game, but they have been riding high for like 10 games straight.
Right.
It was like it was bound to happen, but there was nothing left but the playoffs for it to happen in.
Yeah.
You think if they would have had another game after that, they might have been back on track again. But that's the playoffs.
Yeah, how many championship games have you seen the winning quarterback throw 3 interceptions in the game and still win? I mean, I would a Green Bay get 1 score off of 3 interceptions, something like that.
Right.
So, yeah, and then I don't know. Yeah, and then you've seen it 100 times on replays and all that. Aaron Rodgers, 3rd down. He has a pretty wide open lane toward the end of the game there. Doesn't elect to throw. He elects to try to force a ball in there. Puts him in that tough 4th down and long. Yeah. And then that translated into the coach making that still head-scratching call to kick the field goal.
Kick the field goal,
taking out of Rodgers' hands at the end of the game to at least try to score and tie it. And they never got the ball back the rest of the game. So, obviously, Rodgers was upset about that, wants a new contract and all that. So first of all, that was it. To me, it was a combination of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he could be mad all he wants, but he made some bad decisions in that game as well. So
yeah.
But that call. So was it more Aaron Rodgers not making a good decision there, or was it the coach? Taking it out of his hands. I mean, what do you think toward the end of that game? Yeah,
everybody should take their portion, man. A little bit of both right there. So they can't point fingers. They just got to own up to the mistakes they made and hope they get another opportunity.
Is Rodgers out of Green Bay?
No.
To me, that sounds ridiculous. And go where? Don't look at what Tom Brady did.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, don't do that. That will be a huge mistake. Where are you going to go right now in a better situation than you're in right now? Please show me what team.
You can't show you that. I don't see anywhere across the country he would land and be in a better place.
Yeah.
Know where he's at now.
Yeah, you think of the playoff teams that are high caliber playoff teams. That most of them, they have their quarterback set. And Tom Brady maybe. It depends on what he wants to do. So maybe that's a situation there. But yeah, I tend to agree. I think he's just mad right now. I don't think he departs from Green Bay. Skinner, what did you think of that game? What do you think of those decisions at the end of the game? What was your take on all that?
I was watching a game with my dad, and he looked at me when the kicking team came out, and he looked at me and he goes, "What the hell are they doing?" Like, I'm like, I don't know, Dad. I guess they don't want to win this game because this takes the game completely out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. There is no chance they're going to come
Collectively
back
heard across the country.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I was just absolutely dumbfounded that they kicked a field goal there. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, for the most part, had a really good game, but he made some bonehead plays that kind of also head scratching.
And
That
he,
didn't
he
seem
like
like
Buffalo too. He picked a heck of a time to not play his. Like he had been looking the weeks prior to that, like a
right.
kid in a parking lot, and of course,
And
go ahead,
Aaron
Vince.
Jones got hurt too, didn't he? The rush, the running
Yeah,
back for Green
he
Bay.
did.
Yeah,
And
That hurt. That
that
really
that
hurt
put a
there in the
damper on
game.
some of the play calling, especially in the third quarter.
Yeah.
They really missed the running game in the third quarter, I think, more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, then it was all passing, and Tampa Bay can sit back in that zone coverage that they did, and they did what they had to do to win. So, yeah, between the calls that were made there to go fourth and long, and then to send out the kicking team to pretty much seal the loss in this case, yeah, it just didn't make any sense to me.
Aaron Rodgers joins a list of quarterbacks that take a team to consecutive championship games and lose the game. It doesn't happen very often, and it's tough.
Yeah,
well,
and he
I,
doesn't
I,
want to be in that list.
I wasn't on the show, but if I was, I wanted to tell you guys I love the dichotomy of on one side you had all the old veterans
Mm-hmm.
playing.
Yeah,
On
you're right.
in the NFC you had Breeze, Rogers, Brady. And then of course on the AFC you had all the young lions. Josh Allen,
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes, uh, Baker Mayfield, and I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of cool right there.
Yeah, it kind of gives you an indicator of what the next couple of years have in store for you, depending on
Yeah, well,
what
in one
these
way,
young
because to
quarterbacks
me,
say.
well, in one way, Skinner, because to me, I like the fact that it's saying, yeah, it might be a young man's game, but the old guys are still relevant too. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I don't,
absolutely.
I love that. And I think if those old guys stick around next year, a lot of them will still have something to say. Of course, there'll be some guys who'll be old guys now. We don't consider them that, because we got some old guys that are moving out. Possibly we'll get to that and making room for other veterans. So I thought that was really cool to see, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that being said, let's just who do you got for next week?
Whew.
Let's make this our Super Bowl prediction segment, courtesy of Tampa Bay and Kansas City. Who do you got, Porter?
You would start with me.
I'm going to put you on the spot, brother.
Okay. Well, let me say this right now. Congratulations to the old man.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing but respect for Tom Brady. Nothing but. I'll defend him against anybody who badmouths this guy. Don't hate on greatness, man. This is just unbelievable. It is unprecedented. 10th Super Bowl appearance, second team at his age. It is unbelievable. He goes to this team that didn't even make the playoffs, and he's
Mm-hmm.
back at the big dance again. I
Mm-hmm.
just love it. So, and he didn't do it with huge numbers, with 350 yards and 5 touchdowns. He did it with just being a smart, crazy veteran and leadership. He changed that team around from the locker room out, and that's the biggest difference. So, with that being said, wow, I think the Kansas City Chiefs looked all but unbeatable until the last couple of weeks I watched Tampa Bay play. Tampa Bay's defense is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
That defensive line will tear your head off, and I think they're going to cause problems for Mahomes. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers giving Tom Brady his 7th NFL trophy.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah,
All right.
I think that's going to be the difference. The difference is the Tampa Bay defensive line.
Points well made.
Because they can put up just as many points as Tampa Bay, So that'll be the difference.
Your explanation and reasoning is well noted. I'm kind of surprised at the pick, but okay. What you got, Fish?
Tom Brady still threw 3 interceptions in the championship game. There's really, it's inexcusable that they still won that game. It just shouldn't happen. And the couple that he threw were not good.
They weren't even close. Yeah, he wasn't even close.
He tried to force some stuff in there. He did not. He looked older on those interceptions. And I agree with you. I agree with you in his leadership and all of that. And he still hung in there. He made some good throws, and when his defense, and you're right, the defense give them a lot of credit because they really have stepped up the Tampa Bay defense, to your point. So, and Skinner and I had talked. We were interested, like everybody. What was Mahomes? How was he going to look coming back off of not only the weird neck, choke out thing, but his toe, that turf toe was hindering him, and at least nothing that I saw, he threw off that foot just fine, and I don't know. So to me, Patrick Mahomes is the most talented, probably, football player in the entire NFL right now.
Without question.
Just what he is doing is amazing. I think it's his time. I think I'm interested in the matchup because you have the old veteran, one of the greatest, is going to just walk right into the Hall of Fame without question, versus the up and coming guy. And then to me, Andy Reid is the extra dynamic here with, that team was prepared. They had some good plays there. Kelsey looked great for Kansas City. I think all the way around, I think Kansas City just has more sheer talent. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs will be one of the few teams in NFL history who has been able to repeat in consecutive Super Bowl appearances as champions. So that's what I got. The Kansas City Chiefs. Skinner, what do you got?
Well, I like your points too. I think Mahomes definitely is probably the most talented football player in the NFL, hands down, as we speak. I don't know that there's another player out there that had a better year or has a better 2-year combined than what he's had over the last 2 years, over the last 32.
They're like
38
25-1 or something crazy. They're like 20-some games and 1 loss with him as a starter. It is absolutely nuts. Go ahead. I'll interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. So with that being said, I've criticized Tom Brady over the years. He's in a system that he was able to excel. He had a coach that arguably is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, with Hoodie. He's had Gronk next to his side for most of his career. Hasn't had a running game for the most part for many of the years, but so I give him credit. He's at age 43?
47.
Yeah, he might. He looked like he was 57 against Green Bay last weekend, but he still did what he needed to do to win. All that being said, there's nothing more I'm going to say that you guys already haven't covered. My gut tells me that KC is going to be the victor. It's going to be a close game. It's not going to be a shootout. I think both defenses are going to come out hungry. But I see it. I see a 21-17, a 28-24 game. But I don't know that either team is going to shoot 30. But what do I know? I picked Green Bay and Buffalo to be in the big dance last week. So we'll see what happens. But I think you're right, though. I think Kansas City is the team that everybody looks up to and will look up to for the next few years to come.
Mm-hmm. I got a little bit more of a higher score game than you. I got like a 35-32 game.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And let me guys ask you one question. Who do you think has a better defense, the Green Bay Packers or the Kansas City Chiefs?
Based on what we saw last week? Kansas City.
This period.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm saying if you look at both teams last week, Kansas City. I think over the season, I would have to go lean towards Green Bay.
Okay.
Truthfully,
I agree with that.
I don't agree with it. I think Green Bay had a better defense. I love what Kansas City's done. They've gotten better every game,
mm-hmm.
Especially with Matthew back there. Honey Badger's been killing it. But they've given up a lot of points lately. They get up a lot of points. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Tampa Bay is going to have to struggle like they have to with Green Bay's defense. So, let me see if I can back up my words here. And I don't think that'll sum things up a little bit.
Well, if you're listening to us on radio, I apologize for the awkward pause.
Yes, we're actually taking our shirts off and rubbing our chest into the microphones. No, we're not.
Keith's laid out on his bed, propped up here.
That's his famous feed me pose.
Keith had knee surgery, so be patient. Okay, so let's look at their schedule here. And Kansas City played. So they just played. I'll make sure I'm looking at the right schedule here. All right, so they gave up in their last few games I'm looking at here. 21, 14, 29, 27, 16, 24, 31, 31. You know what I'm saying? That's the Kansas City defense.
Okay.
So I just want you to think about that for a minute. I don't think Tampa Bay will have to struggle against this defense like they had to against Green Bay. And you got to also understand, even though Brady did throw some sloppy picks, Fish was right about that. I think he'll be better in the bowl. He does shine in the Super Bowl. You also got to remember Antonio Brown is playing. The other big difference. And one comment you made, Fish, I totally disagree with. And I don't think you're way off. I just think it's even. You said Kansas City has more talent. Tampa Bay is loaded with talent. I mean, that's almost practically a Pro Bowl defensive line. Mm-hmm. The receiving core is ridiculous. The running game, tight end is ridiculous. So, we'll see. It's going to be really good.
I think the key factor in the Super Bowl is going to be Michael Evans. I think he's going to be the key factor in this game for Tampa Bay. If he has a good game, I think Tampa Bay wins it.
Well, I think if he doesn't have a good game, Antonio Brown's there to back him up.
We'll see what kind of shape he's going to be in. He was hurt during the NFC Championship game. He didn't even play 3 of the 4 quarters.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of health wise he's in. What kind of shape.
So are you guys? So this is a big topic. A lot of people have the same debate in America right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you rooting for Tom Brady because you appreciate and respect the fact that a quarterback, which we may, who knows if we'll see it again, not sure.
Right.
I mean, obviously, a lot of things went his way with the situation he was in.
Right.
And to his extreme credit, he kept himself in great condition to keep himself in a position to even get out there and walk out there on the field, and not many guys could do it. To go and some people are just tired of seeing. Forget him.
No, okay.
Take Tom Brady's name out of it. Just the same guy. Period.
Let me answer that for you.
Go ahead.
I am not rooting for either one of them.
Okay.
If Mahomes wins it, I'm gonna love it because can't remember the last time we seen raw, unbridled talent like we have in this guy. Yeah. And he's just scratching the surface. You know what I'm saying? He's still learning. He's still learning the game. Oh my gosh!
That's a scary thought.
Wait till he gets it with that arm talent. So I love it if he wins. if Brady wins, I've learned not to hate greatness. Okay. Yeah, there's some asterisks along the way of his career, but at the same time, you can't argue
Mhm.
with 10 Super Bowl appearances and 6 wins. So I learned not to hate greatness. It's like I get tired of people hating on LeBron. And I'm like, do you know in your lifetime you will never see, you
Yep.
know, something like if you've been 10 or 12 years old and you're an adult now, you've known nothing but LeBron James in a NBA Finals.
Right.
That's all you've ever
It's
seen. You'll never
it
see
is
that
a
again.
yeah. You're right. It is a weird dynamic that we have as sports fans. I recall even back in my time, just you know, I'm tired of the Bulls.
Right.
I'm tired of watching Michael Jordan win all these championships. And then you stop for a second, it's just like, man, wait a minute. I like you say, what did I just watch there?
Yeah.
Greatness of a team put together like that, and you're right. Same thing with LeBron. It is an interesting thing that sports fans have. We want to see greatness, and then once we see it for a while, we get
Yeah. I
tired of
don't
it.
get
We want to
that.
see we want to see the underdog now.
Yeah,
We want to
not
see the
me.
underdog.
Not me. I
Yeah,
love to see whatever the story is. I just learned to appreciate it. If it's not my
yeah,
team, then I appreciate whatever the storyline is. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So either one of those guys, I'm all for it.
Well,
yeah.
see,
And go ahead, Mike.
no, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Well, I was going to say is this just taking Tom Brady out of it for a second. I mean, Tampa Bay did win a Super Bowl with John Gruden, 17, 18 years ago,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and that was nice. But you're right, and we that team, as we all know, for years and years and years and years and years was horrible, horrible, horrible,
Yeah.
terrible, terrible, terrible. And they were the laughing stock of the NFL for several years. So, yeah, at the end of the day, if they win it, I'm not going to be too upset for the fans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, yeah, you brought people in and you want whatever. They've suffered a long time. I guess maybe that's some of the Cleveland fandom. Kansas City
Yeah.
won last year for first time in 50 years. Great. They got to enjoy that. Andy Reid has solidified his Hall of Fame
Yes.
induction, no question
Hmm.
about it. He finally got one in. So either way, if either team wins, I'm not going to be too upset. I'm kind of with you.
I'm
It's
an
a nice
Andy
story
Reid
either way.
guy. I love to see him get two. Now on the other side, I'm a Bruce Arians guy.
Sure.
This is my guy who took Ben Roethlisberger to the promised land and
Hmm.
won it. A couple times. So
Hmm.
I've been an Arians fan forever. Now the haterism in me is really upset that either Le'Veon Bell
Yep.
or
Yep.
Antonio Brown is going to win a Super Bowl. I am
Hmm.
Right.
really upset about that.
Yep.
But they didn't really contribute to it, so that makes it a little bit.
Yep.
Well, you could have the thought of my daughter Little Red, who was on with us earlier, and she had her pick that she wrote down here so nicely on my desk. Her pick was Kansas City, and if you recall how she come up with her logic was she flipped a coin. So
Yeah.
I guess we could have done
Yeah.
that, and you can really do that. And the reason I bring that up because you can, like you both said, I'll be happy if Mahomes wins the championship, and I'll be happy if Tom Brady does it because he's going to do something. Peyton Manning did it with Denver, and he did it with Indianapolis, but 10 Super Bowls, and this would be win number 7 for him if he wins it this year.
Right.
It'd be
Yep.
number 7. The only
You know,
dynasty that I hated watching was the Golden State Warriors.
yeah, in basketball. No, I got it. So
Well,
yeah,
Tom
you can
Brady
flip.
would be. Go ahead.
No, I say just finish my thought. You can flip a coin, and you're going to be happy with either result. Truthfully,
Yeah, Brady would be the only quarterback in history who took two different teams from two different conferences and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
right.
You're right. So that be pretty incredible. Now, does Tom? Okay, let's just put this. So, if Tom Brady wins, does he ride out into the sunset, or is like, nope, he's too competitive. He's going to want to prove to himself and the world he can play until he's like 45.
Well, hey, Fish, let's hold that thought for a second. Let's
Okay.
answer that. Let's take a quick break
Okay.
and readjust. And that's an interesting question, and I'd like to give it its due diligence. But Mr. Surgery over there next to you on the screen needs a minute to readjust his thoughts, and let's answer that question on the backside of this small
Fair
break.
enough. All
All
right, sounds good.
All right, folks, we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to Reality Football. We're going to pick back up the question that I posed before the break here, and that was in this scenario, if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, again, he would be the only quarterback in NFL history to take two different teams from two different conferences to win the Super Bowl. Any chance that he would ride off into the sunset and cruise around Florida and hang out with the other retirees down there? Or win or lose, Tom Brady is still way too competitive, wants to prove to himself and the world that he can play until he's at least 45 years of age and keep winning at a high level. Playing at a high level and winning, I should say. So what do you guys think about that? Win or lose, does he retire or no?
I think it depends on if he gets his roommate out or not.
That's probably a factor. That's probably a factor.
I think that's the most important question. And what part does that in?
I imagine he's like walking outside and like Antonio Brown's got like his feet in the pool.
Yeah.
With like
you're not asking the right questions, bitch. Win or lose, does Antonio Brown stay there? I mean,
like smoking a cigarillo. Hey, Tom.
If
would
Tom
you stop
Brady says,
flicking the ashes in the pool? I've asked you 100 times. Please don't flick. You can put your feet in. Just don't flick the ashes, for God's sakes.
Hold it down. My neighbor's got jobs too.
Yeah.
So,
who's been putting out their coals?
Yeah, on my road.
On my floor. On my roof.
Persia.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, I think if they win, does Antonio Brown stay in his house?
That's the question.
That's the one I want to know. But I'll answer yours the best I can. I think win or lose, Tom Brady comes back. He's showing no signs of slowing down. He showed no signs of an injury. Yep. He's got a ready-made Super Bowl squad. I just don't even think it's a thought right now.
Yep.
I think it was interesting because Bruce Arians was asked if he's going to come back after this. And he said, yeah, he's got 2 more years in him. So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
Tells me that Brady's going to be there for 2 more years.
Think about it. Drew Brees retires.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that eliminates that competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson is out. Well, that's not in the same conference, but yeah, Bruce Arians, I thought I read more into that interview than I think what the normal fan would see, because I thought about that. Is Tom Brady, is this his swan song? I thought it would have been had Drew Brees beat him 2 weeks ago.
Now he might quit to get Antonio out of his house and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I see
I'm
Tom
retiring.
Brady
I'm back.
Yeah. Myself, I see him at least 1 more year. I would hate to see him stay too long and hurt his legacy, though, if that's possible.
I don't think it's possible at this point.
See, I agree with you. I think
it is impossible at this point. What you have done is unprecedented and untouchable. You are having fun, and as long as you are not out there making a fool of yourself, you cannot do it. Now, if you're out there throwing 4 and 5 picks and looking ridiculous, that's one thing, But I don't think he can hurt his legacy.
Yeah, I think like when Peyton Manning retired, that was time to retire.
Yeah,
the poor guy could barely throw the ball downfield, and he knew it. So the fact that he was able to, and John Elway is another one. You mentioned him already, Skinner. Mm-hmm. He obviously got trounced so many times in the Super Bowl to win 2 in a row. He didn't want to take his chances either with his legacy. So yeah, I agree. Right. Brady comes back. I agree. Win or lose.
Okay.
He's back next
since
year.
We're talking about quarterbacks coming back, can we talk about my favorite subject?
If we have to.
Yes, we have to. All right.
Pain medication?
Can we talk about my second favorite subject? So,
all right.
Big Ben Roethlisberger, obviously. No team exited the playoffs with more controversy than the Steelers. Shamefully, even, if you could use that word. They were
They didn't just
maligned from probably
exit, they
week
got
8 out.
bounced.
Huh?
They didn't just exit, they got bounced.
They got bounced. But even before the bounce, it started maybe about week 8. They were the most maligned, undefeated team I've ever
Yeah.
seen. They were called fraudulent. They were called out way before they got to the playoffs. That there was something not right, something stinking in Denmark, and it was true. So, boom, you played a hot, hungry team that was playoff ready, and you got snookered. You got right hook, buttered up, bam, out the door. So now there's some light being shed on some issues here that need to be fixed. Obviously, I think the highest paid single season contract right now, I believe, is Ben Roethlisberger. I think he's 1 or 2. And the Rooneys have showed the respect that they showed to their coaches and quarterback, saying, hey, you brought us to 3 promised lands. We brought home 2 of them. We are not going to disrespect you. We're going to let you exit at your terms. But at the same token, we cannot afford to do anything with this salary that we have for you. Ben came back and responded he could care less about his salary. That's something you want to hear if you're a GM trying to make another run.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got a guy who Ben did finish the season. He got through the season healthy after coming back from surgery. You got to look at that. I also look at the fact is that the season after surgery is always the hardest. I think it's the one after that when you really play back to form. So we've got a great receiver crew. We have a great defense. We got guys that were hurt coming back. Bush, a couple others. And the holes that we have now, offensive line. It was just announced last week that All-Pro center Marquise Pouncey is retiring.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have another one moving on from that once formidable line. We all said we love Connor. We love his story. We love the kid's personality. You ain't a starting running back in the NFL right now. I don't know if you're hurt. I don't know what it is, but the juice just ain't there. You know what I'm saying? We got to get a running game. The draft projected us having a good shot at Najee from Alabama. That would make a really big difference for us. And we got to get a tight end that can catch the ball too. Ebron needs to go back to the Colts. So what did you guys think? If Ben takes a huge pay cut, you think the Steelers can fix this or salvage this and make a run?
Oh, you
Okay,
really
hey, guys, stop.
You really
Stop.
want us to answer that question, huh?
Stop fighting, okay? Quit fighting over
it. Me personally, as an AFC North guy, I think there's too many holes to fix in one season.
Okay?
Yeah, I think the running game was atrocious. And it wasn't good with Connor playing.
I disagree with you. It was not atrocious.
This year it was atrocious.
No.
It
was atrocious. Thank you. There was no running game.
That's why. There was no running game. And even when Connor was in there, you're right. He's not the answer at running back for Pittsburgh Steelers. Pouncey's going to be a huge loss. We'll see what the offensive line looks like come September 21 for Pittsburgh Steelers. And truthfully, let's see what Ben Roethlisberger looks like, not only physically, but mentally. What's he going to be like come September 2021? Is he going to be ready to play and make a run?
Well, okay, why wouldn't he be? He had no injuries.
It was just weird watching that man throw the ball and play those last, 9 games of his last 9 games of the season.
Let me give you some insight as a Steelers fan. We stopped getting the ball downfield when the running game disappeared.
Right.
Before that happened, they were zooming it down the field, man. You remember that was the emergence of Claypool And all
Yeah.
them, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
he
we were
looked
throwing,
great at the beginning of the season. Yeah.
we were throwing bombs down the field. That's how he got noticed. When people started noticing we had no running game, they started doubling down on these receivers, and everything changed. It wasn't being at all. Not to mention the drops. The drops. Like everybody was dropping balls, especially Ebron. Took away the middle game. So now you are one dimensional, and that's long distance balls. There was nothing. There was nothing. So B is going to be great. B is going to be healthier than he was this year. He finished without an injury, and he's coming off the season with an injury. So he's going to be even healthier. You know what I'm saying? Getting some more rest. Uh, I don't think there's too many holes. There's an offensive line and a running game. I think that'll change everything.
They'll be primed to come in third. Thank you. Next year. Let's talk about next year the actual champions, the Dallas Cowboys. Now let me
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you're right. You're
if
right.
if I may, I think we're
Yeah,
running short on
please.
time. Otherwise, I would.
Yeah, I'm not sure we got enough time to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and their
Well,
emergence in the NFC
that's okay.
next year.
That's okay.
No,
That's okay.
but it'll be curious to see because we talked at the end of the wild card game. Pittsburgh's got a long off season ahead of them, and we're all football fans are interested to see what they do
Right. Well,
to get
here's
ready
the
for
thing.
next season.
One reason we said they got a long off season is because we knew they had some heavy choices to make. That a lot of that's been slashed in half just by being saying I don't care about salary. That takes a lot of pressure off a lot of people. You know.
He said, "Is put it in the bail fund.
Yeah.
Just keep it over there.
Yeah.
Save it.
That's right.
Let it earn some interest." We're talking way too much about it. So, speaking of choices, yeah. Speaking of choices and other things, go ahead.
Nothing. I was just going to say that cuts a lot of problems in half because there's always this problem with disrespecting your franchise quarterback. You know what I'm saying? These owners get caught up with not wanting to do that. And a lot of these franchise quarterbacks, the question was posed earlier, and Brady embarrassing themselves. These guys hang on too long and embarrass themselves. But the only reason they're allowed to hang on so long is because ownership doesn't want to disrespect them. Because you got a fan base you got to answer to, and you can't disrespect a guy that's been there 20 years and taken you to 3 Super Bowls. You just can't do that. Your fans will not allow you to do that. But him saying I could care less about my salary, that takes a lot of pressure off everybody. So they got a good shot at fixing some of the problems.
All right, good for him. All right, we didn't talk about the big trade yet.
You're a jerk.
No, we're talking more about Pittsburgh. It's like,
hey, we talked about Green Bay for 30 minutes. Why not talk about Pittsburgh?
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of the trade?
We're
talking about
the big old trade that I don't think any of us saw coming. We talked a lot last week, Porter, about Jared Goff and whether he was going to stay in LA or not for another season. And I think if I remember right, Fish, we both agreed that he was going to be there probably next year, and they would see how the season went. But boy, they proved us wrong, didn't they?
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news tonight. It's been all over the news. The FBI is getting involved. There has been a huge robbery in LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Detroit Lions have been charged. Are you kidding me?
It's the
grand theft robbery. Is that what they're going to call this? Or no, it wouldn't be grand theft.
Yeah,
it would...
he's old grand larceny. He's
Herschel Walker incident or something like that, right? Yeah.
He's old. Yeah. He's got his own injury issues. Okay. He's proven to have a dynamic arm, but who didn't? Jeff George, Michael Vick. But we need winners. We need winners. Okay? We need Peyton Manning leadership. He didn't have no great arm. This guy lacks all the intangibles that is needed to push a team over the top. Now, don't get me wrong. You can say, oh, Detroit didn't put this around him and didn't do that. Yeah. That guy has been around Detroit long enough to at least have a couple of years where he carried him on his back, and you can say he's a winner. Deshaun Watson haven't played half the time, and he's done that with his team. But you can't say that about this guy, and you just gave away the farm. Dumbest trade I've ever seen.
It was shocking. I don't think it was shocking that it was quarterback for quarterback, but you add the 2 future first round draft choices in addition to. I think they're way overpaid, and only time is going to tell how this turns out. But boy, initially you have to look at it as, what the heck is LA thinking? And I made this statement to you guys before we started recording: is how bad did LA want to get Goff out of LA?
Well, yeah, they must think their window to win is like right now, immediately. That they're rolling the dice, obviously, big time. That they're going to win within the next couple of years. And if that fails, then it's time to rebuild.
Yeah, that's sad. Fish, the only thing I can think of is, okay, first, what Skinner kind of was alluding to, there must be some issues we don't know about as far as wanting to get Goff out of there. And 2, the only other thing I can think of is maybe it's the style of offense that McVay wants to play, and he needs a big arm.
Yeah.
And definitely you cannot say that he does not have a big arm and can get it down the field. That's the only thing I can think of, because they try to play that style of offense, and you watch Goff play, and he's had some great games, but you just don't quite buy him as that deep passer yet. You know what I'm saying? Just don't quite buy him yet. And that might be it right there. So I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, honestly, if Detroit can do something in a couple, that's a city that it's like, I'd love to see that just for the fans there too.
Yeah.
Just if they could do something there.
On the other hand, if they don't do something with all this, then they need to fire everybody in upper management.
Yes, you're right.
That's
well, they started with a coach. Now they've made this trade, and Detroit looks good.
If I was Detroit, they need a uniform change. They need a helmet change. Culture change.
But with this trade, with getting rid of Patricia, and then now that they've got Goff as their savior, and the 2, and if Goff isn't the answer, they've got 2 first-round draft picks down the line.
They'll be entertaining, at least, between all this mess and then that coach going on those weird press conferences and everything else. They're going to at least be entertaining, if nothing else.
And that's a hard place to draw free agents. Who wants to live in Detroit?
Right.
Where you live? Detroit.
That's tough. Yeah, boy. They have a nice casino. Go ahead.
I would say we got one more topic here I think we need to discuss before we head out, and that is, and I'll be interested to see what you guys think is going to happen, is down in New Orleans. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but it looks like Drew Brees played his last game against Tampa Bay last week. What do you guys think?
Well, when you say what do you think, are you referring to Drew Brees, or are you referring to the Saints?
I'm referring. What do you think? What's going to happen with the Saints? Because I think
that's an interesting question, because Taysom looked like he was the guy. And he has a lot of talent. He don't have the gun that what's his name has from Tampa Bay.
Jameis
Winston. And Peyton might like that project, trying to develop Jameis Winston into a pro. Certainly the talent is there. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know. It's hard to say Taysom Hill's the guy when your sample size is 2 or 3 gadget plays a game. You don't want to buy fool's gold and put him in there and he can't play a whole game and compete. Because he come in for a couple of running plays or whatever, or he's filled in a couple times. So I don't know, man. I then again, I don't see him sticking around being a backup again. So it's hard to say. But I think Jameis Winston might end up being a starter back in the NFC South again. That would be interesting, playing his old team.
Yeah, it's interesting. If I'm Drew Brees, I step back and look to see who is my competition in the NFC. I mean, I have Tom Brady, who's continuing to age, Aaron Rodgers, can't seem to win a championship game. You know, it would be tempting to come back in. And you're right, Keith. Does he come back in as more of a, I'm going to start. I'm also going to mentor. Is he comfortable with that role? He might be. Obviously, he also had the bad rib injury as well, and he's got young kids and a wife and all that. I think in my mind, Drew Brees doesn't feel he needs anything else to prove. I think he's probably okay, and he's got a nice career, and he meant a lot to that town. I don't know. I could see him being fine too, and just kind of doing stuff in the community and television or something like that, which he could do probably in a second if he felt like it. I don't know. So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting.
I think a lot of
the Saints may want to move on, though. The Saints may want to move on.
I think the Saints want to move on financially.
Yeah.
And they need to make some changes too for the betterment of the team. And I think right now most decisions with most players are premature because of this weird COVID year that we've had.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's taking its toll on a lot of the players, and rightfully so. And they all need a break, pull away from things, see what happens over the spring, and with vaccines and all this other stuff. Things going to get back to normal. I think a lot of that is going to play into it.
I got you. Well, I'm going to leave this thought for you guys to ponder as we wrap up this week's show. Good game that we're going to see next week. We may not be on the air prior to Super Bowl, so this may be the last conversation we have prior to the Super Bowl. And we all agreed that whoever wins the game is going to be we're going to be happy with. Me and Fish took KC and you took Tampa Bay as your prediction. I want to leave this thought with you guys. Deshaun Watson to New Orleans. With that being said, I bid you all.
Wow. That's heavy.
I bid you all. That is heavy, and I want you to think about that, and we'll pick up with that conversation and see what happens with that later on down the road.
Okay.
But Deshaun Watson to New Orleans.
Well, guys, it seems like yesterday we were sitting in Fish's backyard wondering if we were going to have a football season or not.
Yes,
and to say that here we are at the last show. Again, it has been an utter pleasure, my brothers. This has done nothing but draw us closer. I love you guys dearly. I hate Coop could not finish with us, but he's not far from us. And I just want to tell you how much I love you guys. And this show has kept me sane and kept me focused and something to look forward to each week. We also had to deal with COVID affecting us as a unit. And I just want to tell you how much I respect you guys hanging in there and staying tough. I really appreciate it.
Love you too, brother.
Yep, kind words, man. We love you too. We wish your family nothing but the best with peace and strength this coming week. And hope that somehow you're able to enjoy the Super Bowl next Sunday. And just know that we're with you.
And to the fans, you have not seen The Last of Us yet. I'm going to leave it like that.
We'll leave it at that. There's bigger and better things right around the corner for his 4 old boys from Kenmore.
Ain't that the truth?
What is that hashtag? Right. Just 4 kids from Kenmore.
Let's give that cheer one more time.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Get better.
Get better. All right. For Reality Football, I am Michael Skinner here with Keith Porter and Brian Fisher. We bid you farewell and on to bigger and better things, right?
Absolutely, guys. You take care of yourself, and we will be talking soon. Take care, guys. Take care, fans. Thank you so much for watching the show. Both of you.
We'll be right back.
All right. Oh, God.
All right, I'm going to keep recording, but yeah, let's give Keith a minute. He texted me saying I need to readjust, so that's why I cut you off.
I didn't say that. Okay, no problem.
I was sitting on the remote to my bed until the tilt went all the way back. So
I thought you got awfully comfortable there for a minute.
So I was holding myself up with my own strength, man. It was tearing my knees out.
You got awfully close to the pictures. I'm like, oh, he's just chilling back there. Look at that.
I was like, where did that remote go? And it's right up my butt.
This is very comfortable.
Oh no, I gotta spray this remote off.
Here, watch this.